shine so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight.
Howdy there, I'm Matt McKinley and we're burning daylight.
In the saddle till the job's done right.
Welcome to Burnin' Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. Well, howdy there, daylight burners. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, everybody. That I didn't really get too much of a Christmas episode out. Yeah, I guess I did. Anyway, it's been, these last couple of weeks have been like the longest 3 years of my life. It seems like busy, going. But anyway, 2022 is in the rear view. Here we are. If you're on the East Coast or Central Time, it's already January 2nd. But for me, it's still New Year's Day. And, it's it's just been a busy year. It seems like 2022 was a year of going like hell and not accomplishing a whole lot, it felt like at times. So I felt like I said that more than anything, any other year that I can remember anyways this year. But overall, it was a good year. I really can't complain too much. And I just want to kind of recap. There was kind of a shift in the tone of the show, I guess, and I think that it doesn't reflect so much my where I wanted to go, just to kind of how life is right now. Like, there's a lot of important shit happening in the world that I don't think should be overlooked if history serves us well. There's a lot of stuff I think that people ought to be paying a lot closer attention to and speaking up about. And so I've not strayed, but I've not went so hard on the cowboy end of things, and that's something I want to get a little better at balancing as time goes on. But there's only so many hours in a day, and like I said, there's a lot of important shit going on that I think we've got really complacent, and complacency has led us to a really, really precarious spot in the world. And if nothing else, I just want to do my part in, trying to get people to pay attention, because it seems it doesn't matter really what side of the political aisle you're on. Just people are fucking idiots that are running this thing, and we got there by not paying a whole lot of attention. So, anyways, off my soapbox for a little bit. I'm sure we'll get back on it pretty soon. But I guess like right towards the end of the year, like I had a little tiff with my old lady on Christmas. Just the holidays kind of get to you, and I get kind of homesick around Christmas because I'm quite a long ways away from my family, and shit gets a little different when you're a dad and a husband. You guys know what I mean, and the holidays they're not as fun sometimes, and you always have to take into account that you're not doing this just because you like the holidays. You're doing it for the kids and the memories, and sometimes tradition is just it's tradition for a reason, because it's important, and you don't really have to have a good reason why to do it. You just know that it's important, and even if you don't fully like buy into the story of whatever it is behind the tradition, it's still important to pass down. It just seems like like Christmas is one of those things. Here in America, the Independence Day is one of those things that it seems like how and I guess as America goes, it's kind of how we've done with everything. We've turned a very serious, solemn tradition into just some big capitalistic consumer is. I don't even know if it's capitalism or if it's just consumer, whatever it is that we've turned into, where it's just all about like how can we make money off of this, and then people kind of forget whatever the season's all about, and it's just I think regardless of how much you might hate that the Christmas Christmas time of year rolls around every year, and you dread every part of it because it's a high stress situation because we work ourselves into that for some reason or another. Man, it's worth it just to see your kids having a blast on Christmas morning. Like that's so cool. It's just the the looks of just sheer joy on a little kid is it just man, it's awesome. And I got to spend Christmas with Christmas morning. My little boy got to wake me up and say let's go open presents, and that's the first time I've been able to do that with my kids, and it was just really cool. And it just you can kind of put a lot of bullshit aside just for that little moment. It makes all the bullshit more than worth it. It's all those stupid arguments you have, it's they don't really mean shit, and just kind of they just they don't need to happen. It's but they do anyways, and I don't know what do you do, but just try to keep that in the back of your head. That little moment's worth it, and you can all we're supposedly tough, us in the cowboy world, so suck it up, take one for the kids, and get them on the back end somewhere. Take too long of a shower so that they're cold when they go to take a shower or something like that. Just something little. Get back at them instead of blowing up and having an aneurysm. Pranks. Pranks are good, I think. I bought my wife a big throw blanket of Nicolas Cage's face. Why? Because I think it's funny. Her reaction was priceless. I have a film. I filmed a video of it, and I may post it on social media. I may not. I just like to go back and watch it because I enjoy it. So it's shit like that. That made me, wish I hadn't screamed a couple of times. But because I got the pleasure in the end. Just seeing the sheer, just like what the fuck, why, and it gives me such joy. That's how I'm a troll at heart. So, anyways, 2022, it kind of started with a bang. Elka was a really good time. There at the end of January, there wasn't a ton that happened, I guess, throughout I can't recall, anything significant that happened the early part of January for me personally, but then into February, there we went to Elko, and it was really a good couple of shows. We had Sam McHugh, of course, and then we had Eric Shields from Oklahoma, Texas. He says Texas. I always say Oklahoma because that's where it was when we met. But anyways, he drove up from Texas and played the show with us. And then Ira Grusovic was down from Idaho and joined us on that Saturday night. It was a really, really fun couple of shows. Like people really liked it. Got a lot of good feedback from people that were there, and so it was one for the books in my opinion, and I look forward to it. I'm a little more nervous about it this year since there's going to be the full cowboy poetry gathering is going to be in town. So like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I hope it doesn't suck. I don't think it will, but there's always a kind of a you get something in the back of your head. You're like, man, it could go way wrong. More than anything, I'm just worried about how I'm gonna pay all these people that are gonna come play. And don't worry, it'll get done one way or another. But holy shit, got tight this year. If nothing else, I know you all felt it same as I did. Like, fuck, groceries are expensive. Every time my wife went into town and she'd let me know what the bill was for groceries. Like, son of a bitch. Fine, well, I guess, but we're not gonna not get the extra sharp cheddar, because that shit's good. Come on, we're still gonna get it, but oof, well, fuck. And then gas prices and everything. Thanks a lot for the inflation, all you presidents of my lifetime, and several before my lifetime. But the more you spend from the government, there's a whole deal about it. But anyway, it's really kicking us in the ass, and so we go from a really good. I'll save that for now. But anyway, I guess rolling back into the Elko deal, like I'm ready to go. We're confirmed on the same location, Stage Door. It's February 3rd and 4th, I believe. It's a Friday, Saturday. I keep forgetting what so 3rd and 4th be the date on that. 7 to 9 at the Stage Door. I do about an hour of a comedy show, kind of a bull session type deal, and then we'll have a invite-only jam session, and then I believe they're doing an open mic afterwards. I'm not for sure on that. We'll get to a little more details, but anyway, just know that the Burnin' Daylight show is a go for the 3rd year in a row, and we'll be posting some pictures of a couple bits and stuff that we're got a head stall. If you'd like to donate something to the show, please send me an email. I know I've had a couple people message and haven't got back. I hope I've got back with everybody, but if anybody'd like to donate, we're gonna raffle off all these items, and we're gonna have a bit that we're gonna auction off for the proceeds will go to the Stetson Ranch up in Fromberg, Montana. But anyways, all the proceeds from the raffle will be used to pay the artists and help them get here, have a hotel room and everything. So please buy some raffle spots. We got some really cool stuff. Ryan Erickson from Oxbow or Ox Bar. I forget what his Ox Bar. I keep wanting to say cutlery, but it's not cutlery. It's not saddlery either, but it's anyway, Ox Bar Cowboy Customs or something like that. But he does bits and spurs, and he's building a bit. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I told him dealer's choice, and it's going to be awesome. So, anyways, the proceeds of that will go to help pay the show up. We got don't have the lineup completely confirmed yet, so I'll let you know as soon as as soon as I get in touch with everybody that's supposed to be there. And yeah, let's please show up. It's gonna be $20 at the door, and it was $10 last year, but honestly, inflation, man. Last year I didn't pay very much at all, and I'm glad that Eric came out and kind of, and Sam as well. I'm glad that they both kind of saw that, hey, there's something here. There's a chance maybe, or if nothing else, Eric came out to see some new country, and I appreciate the hell out of him. But this year I want to actually make it worth their while, and they don't lose money on the trip, So that's why I'm doing this, and yeah. So once I get those posted, that'll be on my Instagram for sure. Facebook doesn't allow anybody to see my shit. It's all on there, so you can go find it if you search up Burnin Daylight. But there's a high likelihood that you won't just scroll across it on your news feed anymore. So it'll be on my Instagram is where I'll be checking all the stuff. So if you send me a message on Facebook, I may or may not get it. So please don't. If you're gonna send me a message on social media, do it on Instagram. And otherwise, email me. It's matt@burnin-daylight.com. burnin-daylight.com. If you have anything you'd like to donate, I'd love to have a bunch of you makers out there represented to help pay for a cowboy show at the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering, and everybody will get a shout out at the show. It's consider it a sponsorship, and it sure helped me out too. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, and hope to see you all there. But in the meantime, I'm a little nervous, so yeah, please go buy some raffle tickets once we get the links posted. Well, shortly after that, Russia invaded Ukraine, and that has kind of consumed a lot of the kind of the day-to-day stuff that I think about, because that's a really dicey situation, and it's kind of, I saw a guy on Twitter, his I forget what his name was, but he put like his middle name, or his I guess his nickname as all roads lead to Ukraine. That seems to be like where all the political like fuckery has started, is because of the Ukraine deal and Hunter Biden, and the Biden family. It seems to be that's the source of all the political fuckery that has gone on in the past since Trump. Since Trump, like, all the political fuckery seems to be all roads lead back to Ukraine, and it's such a dicey situation, because we're looking at right down the barrel of World War III with Russia, and in the meantime, like, no, it seems like nobody's taking it real seriously. Like, fuck, not even the people that are in the war are taking it that serious. It seems like fucking Zelensky is supposedly fresh off the front lines coming to address Congress, but he's just a fucking actor, man. They're all fucking actors. Like, we don't have any statesmen anymore. We just got actors and wannabe actors. And if they really need the big guns, they go to Hollywood and actually pay a real actor. But in the meantime, they're just shitty actors that we pay, because if we don't, they come to our house with a gun eventually and put us in prison. So, yeah, it's a bunch of actors like playing footsie all loosey-goosey with nuclear weapons. And it's all, and it seems like our involvement, a lot of it is just like, because there's a really corrupt family, and it's not that they're the only ones. They just happen to be the ones that, at the highest levels of power, the vice president of the United States at the time, doing these deals with Ukraine, and his son making not billions, but millions on the side. And yeah, and it's then Russia invades Ukraine, and then we're like, what the fuck, man? This seems like a really serious situation by unserious people. And in the meantime, like, what the fuck are we gonna do about it? I don't know. I'm gonna ride my horse and, I guess, spout off about it, and hopefully maybe somebody smarter with more gumption than me will take what I spew out there on a daily basis and maybe find some some nugget of gold in that pile of shit and be able to run with it and make it something that's more palatable to the people, that maybe so next time we don't elect such stupid people, or don't allow people like that, unimpressive, unserious people to run shit. But anyways, in the meantime, what do? I guess you just worry about what you can control, and that's your little sphere. That's all you can do, and yeah. And I guess more and more I've learned over that just life over the course of 2020 taught me. It's just like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking shit that you can't control, and yeah, and then there's also like, man, if you want to try to make some change, it's one big giant fucking machine, and it's a daunting task, but it's a task that has to happen. And I don't know what the best solution to make it happen is. I don't know, but I do know that 2022 also seemed to be, from a broad scope of things, a big year, with a lot of debate and heated debate around the idea, freedom of speech. And thankfully, I think maybe possibly we're winning that fight, where free speech is going to still be a thing, maybe. But once again, all roads lead back to Ukraine. This, I saw an article from The Hill where Zelensky just signed a law that pretty much gives the government broad sweeping powers over the media, and including which journalists can come into the country. And yeah, that sounds like an authoritarian dictatorship. That yeah, that's when you can't speak freely about your political beliefs without being put in prison, or the threat of being put in prison. Yeah, that's when they can shut down speech, they can shut down just about anything. And at the same time, I think people are also just sick of fighting with each other, and I feel that as well. and also I think we spend way too much time fighting amongst ourselves, and not paying attention to the people running the shit. And if there's anything about this show that I think that helps is this is a spot where there's damn near anybody can come and speak their mind for however long it takes, and if they're interesting enough, they got something to say. I don't mind you saying it. It just, I think people need to. The more we can work things out together, the lot better we are at setting things right. Because the people at the top running shit don't know what the fuck they're doing, or they do know what the fuck they're doing, and they're straight up evil. And I think there's a healthy dose of both, and then just sheer incompetence. I don't know. There's a lot going on there, and all I know is like one of the reasons I wanted to have the cowboy debate series, which is something I'm really looking forward to in 2023, is I believe strongly in debate, whether it be formal or informal. But when you want to run the country and you want to help be a leader in that process, we have a lot of elected officials, but we have really no elected leaders. And a leader has to be able to communicate one way or the other. And if you're going to lead in the halls of Congress and the Senate and at the White House or wherever, even at the local level, you have to be able to articulate your ideas. And debate is one way to do that. And the more you debate, the sharper you get. And and you want to debate people that are better too. Like you want to take on the topic of the day. And if you have a better idea, you want to be able to explain why. Because it's one thing to just say your idea is shit. Okay, well tell me why. What's shit about it? I'll tell you why it's good, and you tell me. And I and will anything get decided on the cowpuncher versus buckaroo debate? For me, probably not. I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion that they're both good and bad, depending on the situation and what you know. It's just a good cowboy is a good cowboy. Good buckaroo is a good buckaroo. And anyway, but I would like to hear somebody try to persuade me one way or the other. And I'm pretty well in the middle on that, and I might be able to be persuaded. I don't know. I think I'm pretty well set where I'm at, but I love a good argument. I love to hear it, and I think at the end of the day, I hope the people that debate have a great amount of respect for each other, beforehand and afterwards, and I just look forward to seeing that, and I think it'd be a good idea. And you might find some other forums where if you can debate the finer points about a spade bit versus a grazer bit, well, I bet the water rights around regarding your property better than some idiot on the water board does, or that's getting ready to pass a law that puts an even bigger burden on your water usage. If you can debate the fine bit points of a spade bit, or the fine points of being tied hard, why can't you go in front of your county commissioner meeting, or the water board meeting, or city council, whatever it is, and make your point heard articulately, because your shit. It's one of the reasons I talked about kind of my beef with advocates is It seems like they're doing all this education stuff, and then it doesn't matter. Like, people are still passing laws that are like like directly contrary to their benefit long term, where they're just phasing out agriculture. I love that phasing out agriculture of these people that are running shit. You know, it's like agriculture has to exist. And if we want to not be just a hunter-gatherer society, it has to exist. Somebody has to farm, and they're like, humans evolved to eat meat and plant, like, we're omnivores, and that has we if we all went vegan, like, the world, I can't imagine what I couldn't imagine what a fully vegan population would look like. It just, anyway, but you're still gotta, if you're gonna have people in large quantities, you're gonna have to have some sort of agricultural mechanism. It just has to happen. If you want, clothing, you have to have agriculture. It's not good, bad, or in, one way or the other. It is. Like, agriculture has to, for society to exist, agriculture has to exist. And they're literally trying to kill off their agriculture industry in the Netherlands. And it's all based on carbon emissions. And carbon is the base element of life. I don't know. This whole thing makes no sense to me. Like, this seem like they're like, bugs have a less of a carbon footprint, but until you need all the bugs you need to replace the amount of meat that we've been eating, which in the meantime, like, what are we just going to kill all the cows and then, like, go on a meat gorge, and then we're going to insects. We're slowly what if the people are actually controlling the weather, and they're just, like, phasing out the land mammals, and there's phasing in the insects. I don't know. Some of the shit you speculate when you're on a horseback. So, I'd like to get back to some of those speculations while I need to record on horseback a couple more times, if nothing else, to get some ideas down so I can maybe make a better episode of it when I ramble here in the studio. But I don't know. There's really went off on a tangent there, but hey, look, I know you're enjoying this show that we're balls deep in here, but I got to pay some bills around here, and this company, Bub's Naturals, they are helping me do so. And they also sell a lot of good stuff. So you go to bubsnaturals.com. It's named after Glenn Bub Doherty, who was a special operator, CIA guy. Was one of the guys that was killed during the Benghazi raid. His best friend started up this company kind of in honor of him. They're both very active guys, and they wanted just good, clean supplements, and that's what these are. I take the collagen in my coffee, along with MCT oil. It's a powder, kind of very, very slightly sweet, like very faint sweet taste to it, but also got a kind of a creamy texture. It's good stuff. They also have coffee now. I haven't tried it yet. Might have to. And looks like maybe they got some like Gatorade type mix, but it's all good, clean stuff. Apple cider vinegar gummies, which are awesome. Apple cider vinegar is great for you. Collagen's supposed to, what do they say on this? Let's take a look. It fuels the body while replenishing amino acids that turn back the clock on aging. And it's supposed to be good for your skin and your joints and your hair, your nails, all the good stuff. It's just a scoop in your coffee. It's flavorless. Don't taste it at all, and it's just it's good for inflammation and all sorts of good stuff. All in all, these guys pay me pretty well when you guys buy stuff, so please do, and I highly recommend their products. Like I said, I take them every day. Got this stuff on order. And the gummies I've got coming every couple of weeks. Help me kind of stay halfway young. I know my hair doesn't look it, but I'm not that old yet. So and I want to be able to wrestle around with my kids and beat them for a long time yet. So I want to dominate them, so they know that I'm the alpha. And so I'm doing all I can to to kind of help stay one step ahead of those little fuckers. And Bubs Naturals does it for me. helps get me there. So anyways, go to bubsnaturals.com. Use the promo code Burnin Daylight. That's all one word. You'll get 20% off your order, and I will get a commission on that. So thanks to Bubs Naturals. Go check out their stuff. I think you'll like it, and I know I do. So bubsnaturals.com, promo code Burnin Daylight for 20%. Now we can go ahead, get back in to the show. Like I said at the start of the show, a lot of big important shit happening out there in the world, and I don't know what to make of all of it, except to think that more people ought to be paying some serious attention and try to find reputable people to listen to and read. That's why podcasts are so great. You can hear a good interview where that guy makes some really good points, and do a search of him, see if he's done more podcasts. Try to find it, and then you find good podcasts that way. And so that's why I always, people always say share it out, the episodes if you like them. I would hope you do. It sure helps, bring more people in. And if nothing else, when we do the bull sessions, we talk about the shit that cowboys go through. It gives, and the ranchers, farmers, all rural community, maybe some guy in New York will be listening while he's, doing something for a stockbroker, there in Manhattan. Who knows? And he might have, I don't know. You never know what that could lead to. And if nothing else, it just gives those people a little better idea of what we go through. And I like to talk to people from just all different parts of life to, I guess, see what the rest of the world's like, what people think, what they're going through. A lot of it's similar to what we go through, but a lot of it's completely 100% not even in the same realm of possibility. So the shit that when people get snowed in up in Buffalo, and they can't really go anywhere. They live in the city, and the city's just kind of shut down for a couple of days while they figure out how to get roads open and shit. But if you live out here in the sticks, you're like, I got to get out to my cows now. We got to get stuff fed. We got to get stuff watered. And it's just go until that happens. And we were really, we had just a heck of a New Year's weekend, kind of skip it. We're going to be jumping back and forth throughout 2022 here. But New Year's Eve, I woke up, it was raining, and it just kept raining all day. I went home for lunch about 2 o'clock, waiting on the feeders to get, I guess about 1:30 or so. Yeah, 1:30 maybe. And we had inch 35 in the rain gauge. and I dumped it out because it was starting to snow, and so I dumped out all the liquid moisture, and yeah, it was inch 35, and then the snow set in, and it just snowed and snowed and snowed, and we lost power. Got turned back on pretty quick. But yeah, it was, I don't know, good 5-6 hours, something like that. We lost power. Snowed like 16 to 18 inches here in the valley. I don't know how much they got up top. A bunch, I bet you, but it was good, heavy, wet snow, and it's already been a sloppy fucking mess. But it's gonna be, boy, we're gonna need a snorkel. Gonna, see if the shoer, if there's any way we can put fins on the back feet so we can get through some of these swamps we're gonna have. But it's much needed moisture. I was telling my wife, it's like hay prices might go down a little bit this summer if it keeps up. If the winter kind of sticks it out like that, and then just we get a little bit of moisture, that'll make shit a lot better. And I don't know if I guess I'd know you folks out there in the city just don't understand like how much we rely on that moisture. And not just the quantity, but the timing. And oh man, most of the time you're either not getting it, or you're getting it at the wrong time, or not enough of it. And it just, man, when we get these good soaking rains, and it's not like it was just like a heavy, like soaking rain. It wasn't like a torrential downpour where it just, it was what was that? 6-7 hours it took, but as in, not quite an inch and a half, just a good heavy soaking rain, and then follow that up with some heavy snow. And well, that's a good start to the snowpack. And it's like if it turns out to be a good year, man, like the hay, there's gonna be a lot of hay next year, and boy, the prices maybe will go down a little bit, and I know there's been ton of moisture this winter, and that's so nice to see. So it makes me really optimistic for for the spring months if it continues like this, throughout the winter. And it just that leads to good stuff for us here in the agricultural world. Just maybe you don't have to cull any calves or any cows this year, or you don't have to cull as hard, or maybe you get to restock a little bit, maybe, which means cow prices are going to go up, and that's good and bad. It's it's good if you're selling. It's bad if you're buying, but that's how it is. But overall, wet year, man, that means good stuff for us out here in Middle America, flyover country. It's yeah. So let's hope it continues. I really hope so. I don't mind sore horses and shitty cinches. I don't mind rinsing my stuff in the cold weather if it means it's going to be a good spring. So we'll grin and bear it. It sucks, but hey, this is like I said, the one part of agriculture where like it's hard not to bitch about about moisture when we get a bunch of it, because it makes life miserable at a feedlot. But we'll grin and bear it because somebody's got to. Yeah, so I think the best thing we can do to be advocates, I hate that term, but whatever. The best thing we can do is not educate people on social media, but rather educate people that are actually proposing these laws, and record it when you do, so then you can make it go viral and advocate on the internet. But when you when some Joe Schmo, dumb shit county commissioner that is just trying to put his buddy on the water board so he can maybe drill a few more wells and not have to worry about the whole permitting process too much. Well, maybe if you show up and you articulate your point, coherently and eloquently, hopefully, but at least coherently, and be able to defend your position and then record that and post it on social media, and and people share that around, and all of a sudden this guy's getting a bunch of calls because he said a bunch of stupid shit. Well, maybe that'll force him or her to be a better county commissioner, or maybe not. Maybe it'll inspire somebody else to run against them, and because maybe they have a better ear to the ground about what is actually going on with the people in that I guess jurisdiction, or whatever people of that constituency, I guess is the technical term, that constituency, whether it be the city precinct, or the city as a whole, or the county, or the state representative, state senate. You never know when a good argument can inspire one of the good guys to step up and run for these offices. But then we also have to hold them accountable to be as good as they were supposed to be. And you have to be able to debate, folks. I think it's important. And so all these arguments you hear on like Elon Musk taking over Twitter, I know a lot of people don't. They claim they hate social media, but they're still on it. Even the old crotchety fucks are on social media, and if they're not, they at least have heard about it. And it's just, but that has become the town square, and that has. I just, being able to debate is essential if you want to live in a civil society, because if you can't fight with your words, and then you'll end up fighting with your fists, and it escalates from there. But we've got to have the freedom to debate back and forth. Otherwise we turn into Russia, we turn into China, we turn into Ukraine, which, even though they're being invaded by a hostile foreign enemy, they're no peaches themselves. Like I said, they just signed this bill to restrict the media, essentially. They've banned opposition parties. They've banned certain members of the Russian Orthodox clergy. They're not good people. I'm not saying what's happening to them is right. It's not. That's fucked up too. But the people running Ukraine are not great people. And if we don't have the freedom to debate these ideas, that we end up in just like those countries that we claim are so shitty, like Russia and China. So anyways, it's And at the same time, if we don't participate in that debate at the level where it matters, where they make the laws, then we're just going to be bound to go by the wayside, like the farmers of Netherlands, because a bunch of idiots who think they're doing a bunch of good, and I don't even know how they're making these decisions. It seems to be just strictly off of carbon emissions, but we're gonna they're shutting down like 40% of the Netherlands agriculture industry. They're the number 2 exporter of stuff exporter in the world. And they're going to do it forcefully. That's the thing, is that at the end of it comes guys with guns to enforce it. And that's our allies in the EU. The Netherlands, they're in the EU. We're pretty close allies with them. That's what they're doing to their farmers. They're trying to do that shit in Canada as well. We've already seen what a piece of shit Trudeau is, and like, those are our allies. Why? And we're sending millions of dollars over to these people, and for what? Well, because that's what the people at the top say. And, well, how do you get there? How did that happen? I don't know. Nobody pays attention. And nobody knows how to debate anymore. And then these laws get passed, and they're like, hey, we didn't want that. Well, nobody was at the fucking city council meeting or the county commissioner meeting or at the state house. Nobody, and if there were did they do any good because they were eloquent, or were they just like holding the sign with some catchy slogan on it? I mean, not saying that that's not important too. I mean, if that's the least you can do, if that's the most articulate you can be, go do that. But also, can we not have somebody that sounds impressive on the floor of Congress or at the city council meetings? Like, you see a lot of pushback against this trans stuff in schools because parents went to to school board meetings and articulated their case and their argument very well. And it just, the power of debate is very, very strong. So, like, I'm an avid debater as it is, but I'd also like to be able to debate formally, and that's not something I've done much. But I think it's something we need to take a little bit more seriously as a country, and I can't see how it would be a bad thing to get more people interested in debating each other. I just don't see how that would be a bad thing overall. There might be some isolated cases, sure, but overall, if people are allowed open and free debate, and more people are interested and become good at that, I think that's the more the merrier. I think that's good for the country. So anyway, I feel somehow, some way, this is my little part in helping spur that that spirit of debate that this country was founded upon. Like, if you go back and read some of the accounts of like the Continental Congresses and whatnot, and you see like how much they fought back and forth and like legitimately argued and pled their cases for hours on end. Yeah, they were serious people. Maybe they weren't the smartest people, but they were serious. They were laying the framework for generations to come, and they were doing it with lofty intentions. And you look at that versus what comes out of Congress now, and it's just like 4,000 pages of handouts. Just how the government is going to steal my money some more and hand it out to everybody else. And yeah, and it sounds impressive, the way they put the language, but at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make this new program and spend this amount of money on it, and we're going to get that money by taxing this group of people now, or just general overall, or we'll just print it. It's not even serious stuff anymore. It's just money here. Who needs money overseas? How can we shuffle that back into our pockets somehow through this company over there? Oh, okay. You want, well, we can send all that money your way if you say give me a kickback here or there. And it's all politics, baby. But I think the only way you ever change that is getting with short of violence, which I don't advocate for, but it seems like we're headed that way. I don't want it, but anyways, short of violence, I think the only way we get out of this is like have serious people start debating at whatever level we can to just claw our way forward to some sort of sanity. And until that happens, I don't know. We're on a bad path. So this, in some way, is my little part of like trying to keep that spirit of what our country was founded on and how our country was founded and took shape as as a new country. I think that whole process, did they get it all right? Obviously they didn't, because yeah, we're a long ways from where we started. But anyhow, that's I think that whole process of that they went through, where they sat down and they fought and agreed and screamed and yelled and motherfucked one another, and Benjamin Franklin's case probably fucked a lot of mothers too. And but they hashed it out and they got it done, and they set the framework, which led to the greatest country that has ever existed on the face of the earth. So there's a lot of merit to it, to just getting down in the weeds, but it all, sometimes they did come to blows, but very rarely. For the most part, when it came down to shaping the government, they fought the war to be able to say, hey, we're going to make our government. But after the war, they're like, no, we're going to hash this thing out, and we're going to make sure it works, or we'll go our separate ways. And they made it work, and it worked for a while. So there's very real world evidence that that just hashing shit out works. And but sometimes it's a long shitty process, but it's an important one. Because the alternative is fighting, which eventually leads to guns, and that's not good for anyone, really. So unless you own arms manufacturers. So like, hey, if we are going to World War III, like I said, go ahead and buy some Raytheon stock and Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, and maybe you won't get raped quite as hard by this by World War III, but maybe not. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will say that is what I'm doing. Not a lot, but here and there, instead of buying a little bit of Bitcoin here and there, I'll buy some Lockheed Martin. It seems like it's a solid investment. If until all of a sudden we become anti-war, which I don't see happening. I think Till that day happens, yeah, companies like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon are probably pretty good investments. But what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor. I think you have to say that, so you can't sue me for saying that those are good stock buys. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It just seems like every time we're sending a bunch of weapons somewhere, those people make them. So, anyhow, now I'm one of those people. I've got some stonks. I've learned this one thing I learned over 2022, or at least came to a very clear realization is like futures, commodity futures, stock futures, stock markets. They're a lot like sports gambling. A lot. they're a lot like betting the spread on the Broncos Chiefs, which I won today. Bam. I also found out that like if I stick to NFL, I'm not a terrible sports gambler. I'm slowly but surely like I win more often than not. Like not by it's still kind of I'm right in that. So I don't bet enough to get me into any sort of trouble when I lose. It's just like, oh shit, that was $50. Damn it. But I don't. I think I bet $50 today because there was no way that San Francisco was losing to the Raiders. I tuned in and they were down, and I was able to get San Francisco for plus money. Yeah, I will bet $50 they win this straight up right now because that's a good payout, and it was. So I ended up for the weekend just off of that one bet. So you can, but also there's other like safer bets that I took off to the side that are along with it that they didn't pay out as much, but they still paid out, and it's like, well, how is that different than guessing the price of corn 6 months from now? We've got a set of statistics and research that we can go on for both sports betting and, like wheat futures. We've got, projections on both sides. And, but because if you bet on sports, that's degeneracy. But if you bet on future price of wheat, that's commodities trading. And yeah, it's just there's a lot of euphemisms for for vices versus legitimate businesses, and but I will say that like the more I've like enjoyed sports betting, the more I've enjoyed the NFL, and also like thanks to the NFL for kind of being way less in your face about politics over this year in particular. Like they've really just kind of focused on football, and like it's pretty good football. I've enjoyed it a lot. So bravo to you. Still, they're an awful organization, the NFL as a whole. Their tax burden, they actually. But either way, they put on a good product, and I'll put up with a lot of bullshit if I can enjoy football again. So that's nice. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Win a little bit of money on the side. So, like, but also like I know a lot of people that they bet on the commodities market. They're like that's not their. It's not their full-time job, but they'll buy a few contracts here and there and trade them, and just to make a little money on the side. Seems like a lot of the same thing. So anyway, that's like I said, I hadn't really thought about it quite as much before, but yeah, there's The stock market's a gamble, commodities market's a gamble, and betting the NFL on Sundays is a gamble. It's all a fucking gamble. But anyways, there's that's being informed is also good, because the more informed you are on football, the better, and how gambling works, how the sports gambling works. You the more you learn how the spreads and the parlays and whatever, and the payouts, the more you learn about that, the more you can, like, when you're watching a game, the more you can be like, oh, okay, I see why they set the spread this way. And then you can use that to have a more informed guess the next time you bet on the game, just like the more you study seasonal prices versus seasonal, seasonal fluctuations in supply and demand, and all the stuff that it takes to, trade commodities for a living. There's a lot of research that goes into that. And the more you know the terminology and what you're looking for, the better at it you are. Same way with gambling on football. It's like, all right, so I know this team is a high-powered offense, where this playing a team with a mediocre defense. You can probably say, like, if I'm gonna put that in a teaser and tease the spread or the over, one way or the other, spread or the over, tease it up or down, and you're like, hey, that's a high scoring team, a high scoring offense versus like a middle of the road defense. Maybe I'll tease that over down, so they'll be, they're gonna hit it there, because they're gonna put up points, whatever. There's a whole process behind it, and just the same way there is trading stocks and commodities. And it's just funny how one is considered legitimate and one is more kind of degeneracy. And I don't know, maybe that's just me talking out my ass, but that's kind of what I learned today, or not today, but this year. Just one of the things I kind of picked up on. I constantly, like, become more and more aware of, like, how important having a good family and, like, community around you is, how important that is. And as far as that goes, I'm sitting pretty good on, like, I've got some really good people around me, and my family is awesome. My wife is amazing, and I got good kids, and my kids are not going to be assholes when they grow up, and I'm happy of that. I'm very thankful of that, and it's one of those things that has stuck out very, very acutely in 2022, and I'm sure it'll be even more so in 2023. That just I've got a really good family, and I'm gonna try even harder. I try my best not to take that for granted, but I'm gonna try even harder in 2023 to do so. I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy, but I don't shit on anybody except like the stereotypical. I shit on it for comedy. I really don't begrudge anybody that sets I don't begrudge anybody that sets a goal and tries to achieve it, to make themselves better. If that's what they're trying to do, awesome. Is it cliche? Sure, but fuck it, do it anyways. If you wanna lose some weight, go lose some weight. I don't know. I made it a New Year's resolution to do more writing in a journal. So I'm gonna get a leather bound journal, like something cool, old timey, because I'm kind of a hipster sometimes. So if anybody knows where you can get a good leather bound journal, I found some on Amazon, but I'd rather buy one from somebody local to somebody, you know, some small business. If anybody's knows of something, hit me up. If not, I'll buy one off Amazon, or I'll do some research anyways. But if anybody knows somebody that does something like that, or if any of you leather makers think you can make me one, yeah, hit me up. Let me know what it costs, or maybe we can work a deal on some advertising. Maybe we'll see. If that's what you'd want to do. But anyways, if you guys know kind of what I'm talking about, it's like a leather-bound journal. So particularly if any one of you makers out there knows how to do that, hit me up. But that's one thing I'm gonna try to do this year. So yeah, if you got any good resolutions, more power to you. If you don't, I don't care one way or the other. You know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. And if it is your thing to just shit on the people with New Year's resolutions, so be it. Have your fun. I don't care. But I'm gonna try to do that. Just, I don't know. Seems like it's something that could be important later down the road. So I'm gonna start doing it. Other cool things, I got to marry my nephew and his wife. I got to perform that that ceremony. So congrats to them too. That was awesome. And got to hang out with a lot of family that weekend. It was a really fun trip back to Kansas. Got a few conspiracy theories floating around about me because of the timing of my trip to Kansas and a certain heat stress pandemic that struck feedlots and a bunch of cattle died. You know, so I got to have a conspiracy theory floated my way a couple times. That was awesome. That might have been one of the cooler moments of my life that I'm part of a conspiracy theory. I've been waiting. Conspiracy theory, like the heart of it, and then also a cult leader. You know, those are like my life goals. Like, not really, but it sounds funny. Anyways, yeah, it was a good trip. Got to see family. Got Tuck and Megan married off, and that was a neat experience. I got to help announce a ranch rodeo in Kiowa, Colorado. Jeremiah Wilbur and the War Party Ranch putting that deal on, and that was a lot of fun. Got to meet some really neat people there. Jeremiah's a bad motherfucker with a really great organization that he's trying to build all the time, and it's a really noble cause, and I was glad to be a part of that. That was a lot of fun. Got to meet Marissa Loren, the world-renowned tattoo artist. She's a really cool chick, kind of a little badass. Met Cope Wilson there. He's I believe still planning on coming to Elko to play. He's a Canadian Special Forces guy, and now he's outfitter. Works for an outfitter there in Montana. Does a lot of packing into the backcountry for for hunters and stuff, and just a all-around cool guy. Really enjoyed visiting with him, and looking forward to seeing him seeing him there in Elko, watching him play, be a part of the show. It's going to be a fun time. Other than that, it was just I got to see my boy wrestle for the first time in a tournament, and he he was the only boy in the 6 and under 36-pound division. He had to wrestle 2 girls, but he dominated both of them bitches. I wasn't real for sure how he was going to take to wrestling, but I think he liked it. He got to bring home a T-shirt that said champion and a gold medal, so he was pretty stoked, and I think I was even more stoked for him. He he did really good, and yeah, he took them both down and just kind of he won one match 14-2, and then he second match he pinned her in the second period, I think. And yeah, and then we went to a Chinese buffet for my daughter's birthday, and yeah, it was a good way to cap off the year. Then we had a little cozy night in. We all slept downstairs on the couch, and had a fire in the wood stove because the power was out. So we just put a couple of logs on the stove, and like we got all cozied up down there. And then the power went out, and then that after we got the fire going, then the power came back on and kind of stayed on. So, but we were all down there cozy, so we just all slept on the couch anyways, and it was just a nice end to 2022, and for all the crazy stuff that went on, I try not to. I've got I guess 2 ratings for how a year goes, and on a personal level, I can't complain. Honestly, I'd be stupid if I was complaining about a whole lot. There's a few things here and there, but man, I'm a little bit poorer than I was last year. But I think so is everybody else. The inflation kind of kicks you in the pants, but overall, we're plugging right along and doing well. Like I said, I got a great family, and I just can't complain. The world around us kind of seems like it just going further into shit, but hey, as long as things are good here at home, I'm not going to complain too much. So I can't think of a whole lot of other big stuff that really anything super noteworthy on the personal end. But yeah, it was just it was a crazy year, and I would love for us to get back to where things are kind of somewhat normal. We don't have to just worry about a lot of crazy shit going on. But until then, I think, yeah, you have to stay informed, and you have to be able to speak up when shit's not, something doesn't sound right. You got to be able to speak up and explain why that don't sound right, or at least ask questions. It just, yeah, I don't know. Soapbox deal again. I think we got real lazy intellectually as a society, as well as physically, and yeah. But it was so I would love shit to go back to normal, and the more we go back to normal, the more I can spend time trying to get a hold of guys that I really want to talk to, and more of those just tend to be working guys, whether they be cowboys or not. Just I like talking to real people, and the more the outside world settles down, the more I can spend time trying to not cover current events as much, because yeah, I don't know if it does any good. It just seems like there's not many voices out there saying like, hey, this is a lot of crazy stupid shit from our government, and not have, without just being like, and did you see what Biden did? Like, yeah, I see what Biden did, but you weren't saying and boo about it when Trump did it. And so like I wish there was more people like honestly calling out just all sides for their bullshit, and I think a lot of it is because people don't know, they don't pay attention. And so anyway, like I said, is my small part to help for a contribute to a better informed and I guess, yeah, better informed and nuanced society, I suppose. Yeah, maybe I'm just sucking my own dick here, but anyways, it was like I said, I there's a reason I cover so much of the politics stuff, because I think it's important, and just as much as I think it's important hearing from Boots, and as even sometimes even more so important to just sit down with a couple of buddies and shoot the shit and tell wild cowboy stories, because it's just, not only is it interesting, you get some good laughs, but it's therapy for us dudes, you know, particularly the guys that are married and have kids and have a lot of responsibilities over your head. It's good to just cut it up with your buddies, and I know a lot of you guys get a kick out of just listening to that. So, yeah, I'm all about the weekly bull sesh, just relax, unwind, and just shoot the shit with the fellas. And like ladies, you guys are welcome sometimes too. But mostly just for the guys, just like, man, get out there and take a load off a little bit, you know, just unwind. And yeah, it's good to talk shit to each other. You know, it's good for the soul of a man. And so that's another, like, I guess I feel like in my small way, if I don't provide any benefit to anybody else, it's good for my soul just to tell dirty jokes and tall tales with a couple other guys while we're all just sitting around drinking beer. So I can promise you a whole lot more of that coming in 2023. I'm going to try to get as many of the old-time cowboys that are still around. I'm going to try to reach out to as many of them as I can and have some conversations with them, if at all possible. As far as the the bull sessions, there's always going to be somebody to bullshit with, and I'm always open to suggestions for interviews, for people to get on the bull session, and or books to read, movies to watch, any of that stuff. Like if you think it's going to be something I would dig, send it my way. I might get to it. I'll try to. If nothing else, at least the seed will be planted. But as far as, yeah, I'm open to all suggestions on guests for the show, and you know, like I said, there's something good about just talking to people and really talking and you know, and having a good conversation. There's something very valuable to that, and I truly enjoy it. So I can promise you, if nothing else, we'll get a bunch of good, real conversation here in the next year, and yeah, hopefully we get some really cool people to come on. I know we will, and I don't know who they are yet, but I know we'll get them. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a very happy, prosperous new year. 2023 started with a bang for me. I mean, like I said, it was a hellacious snowstorm, and you know, I got to spend it at home with with my family, and I couldn't ask for anything else. So it was a good start. It was a good end to 2022, and it was a hell of a good start to 2023. I'm sure we'll have a bunch of curveballs and a bunch of shenanigans, but there'll be some good moments in there as well, and I'm hoping and expecting for a bunch of them. So I hope and expect the same from you. We're gonna have a bunch of good moments. There'll be some shit that goes down, but there always is. So we'll get through it one way or the other. And cheers to all of you. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate everybody that is on that subscribes on Patreon. It helps me keep this thing chugging along without dipping into my own personal stash or my personal paycheck. Please go support Bub's Naturals. They pay me when you buy shit from them, and it's good products. I promise you. I use them all. Not all of them yet. I haven't ordered all of them yet. But the collagen, the MCT powder, and the apple cider vinegar gummies, I use them all. They're good shit, and it's a good company to do business with. More importantly, they give me a commission when you use promo code Burnin Daylight. So sorry to all you Patreon fellas. I gave you a shout out, and ladies, gave you a shout out, and then read an ad I'm not going to edit out. So, but anyways, bubsnaturals.com, promo code Burnin Daylight, 20% off your order, and I get a cut off of that. So do that. Sign up for Patreon, and listen to the show on Spotify. That's how I get paid. And the more you do that, the more money I can spend trying to make this show even better, and go out to do some cool stuff and meet some cool people that later on I can have an extended conversation with on the show. So anyways, that's how you can support the show. Please go do it. And if not, well, just go listen to it on Spotify, because that's the easiest, freest way for you to support this show. So anyways, thank you all for being around. Cheers to 2023. I hope it's a good one for you. I truly do. And I'm expecting a good one from me. So from all of us here, McKinley family and the Burnin Daylight crew, Happy New Year, and move your ass. We're burning daylight.
Up early Sunday morning, I had myself a piece of toast, had $50 in my pocket, gonna chase myself a ghost, went down Camino Espinosa, gonna get me a divorce, I'm gonna split with all my money, see that girl who loves a horse. It's New Year's Day here on the border, and it's always been this way. I never do the things I oughta. I think I'll stay. It's New Year's Day. Well, I met them boys there from O'Connor, a cowboy like you've never seen. They're up for anything you wanna. Live on steak and refried beans. They bought up half of southern Texas. That's why they act the way they do. When them boys meet me in Laredo, they think they own Laredo too. It's New Year's Day here on the border, and it's always been this way. I never do the things I oughta. I think I'll stay. It's New Year's Day. Her name's Pussy Willow Rose. She got that ring around the collar, got that ring stuck through her nose. She works there at the Dallas Cowboys, but she's got no in between like all them other boys in dresses. They ain't every cowboy this day, it's New Year's Day. It's New Year's Day here on the border, and it's always been this way.